Welcome to the joy of functional game dev, from your heart to the screen, with your host, Ernest Pizzera.
Hello everyone, nice to see you. And this is episode 17 of the joy of functional game dev, from your heart to the screen. And the GitHub release is v0.16, end of episode 16, start of episode 17, if you're following along. And that's about enough of that. So we'll go right over to the Trello board where we have nothing that's in progress. But what we want to do is we want to have GameJolt API integration, some level of it, and we're also going to have some trophies, at least one. Well, we're gonna, in particular, user authentication. As a matter of fact, for today's session, we're going to say if we can authenticate the user, that's what we'd like to do, and then we're going to try to get things. I mostly know how I want to do this, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to authenticate the user, and so if you don't have yourself a GameJolt account, I highly recommend. I got mine. Here's me. I'm play these games as I am on the Twitter. And when you're going to add a game, and this one's going to be a game one of these days, but for our purposes here today, there are rules. It's like it's only accepting free games, don't upload games you didn't make, so on and so forth. So it's about games. I accept the rules, and I'm going to make this a special one. It's the joy of functional game dev sandbox. And I'm not going to put a website. I'm going to put a category. It is I'll call it action. It doesn't really matter. And we have a bevy of different things that we might have used. And it doesn't have ours. Other. F#, dude. F#. Mono game. Yeah, my goodness. And it's a work in progress, unstable. Actually, we will call this money face. Money face, which is project one of the joy of functional game dev. So we're going to say do that. Alright. Game's currently hidden, so on and so forth. And that's okay, because really what we want is we want to go to the game API. And we say things like we can have sessions, trophies, there's scores, there's data store, and we'll get to all those, but what we really need to do, and here's, see the nice thing is like, oh, there's all these lovely things where it's F, no. So we're going to the API documentation. And so the stuff that we need to do is we need to make web requests to GameJolt and their API. And one of the main things we need to do is the signature. And then one of the other things we need is we've got these game IDs. We've got a game ID, and then we've got a signature which has to do with the game's private key. Now, here I am. I'm about to show exactly how to do this. So the key and some other crucial pieces of information will be exposed to you, and you might go, "Oh, hey, cool! I'm gonna troll him. I'm gonna mess with him." Nope, because we'll go over we'll go over here. And here's my API settings. Here's my game ID. Never give your private key to anybody. It's very, very pink, very... So my game ID, which I'm going to take and I'm going to put in here somewhere. We'll wind up moving it. Let GameJolt game ID equal that. And then I also need my private key. And I'm going to show it, but the thing is I'm going to generate a new key after each episode. So you're not going to know which what key I'm on. Let GameJolt, what do they call it? Private key. And then when it comes time to actually release this thing, so that's our information for Moneyface. Yep, go right ahead and memorize it, because this number is going to change. This one won't, but you're going to have to guess pretty hardcore in order to get this one. But by all means, do try. Okay. So that's part of it. We need that, and we're gonna. I think we're gonna add a file, add a new file, code source file. We're just gonna call it GameJolt. Call it GameJolt API. GameJolt API. Move that. Likely above here. I don't think we're going to need it any higher than above update. We're going to move these guys over here to the GameJolt API. And then one of the first things that I want to do, so I'll go to Game API. Well, here's the API documentation. And one of the things I want to do is I want to authorize the user. So let's go back here. So what are the things we want to do here? So when we have when we're sending a call, we've got the API, we've got all this stuff. We want to do that part, and then we want to get the signature. Is where we take generating the signature. You need a form, so you need everything, but this thing to either MD5 or SHA1. So we take this. Okay, so we take the URL that we want. We put the key on the end of it, and then we make an MD5 hash, and we take then our original one, and signature is whatever the hash is. Okay. That's cool. We can do this. So take that, append there, do that. Okay. We're gonna keep this one handy though, because the thing we want to do first, the very first thing, the hello world of it, we want to auth. So we're gonna auth. So we need a game ID. Game ID we got. We need a username and we need a user token. Now the username and token I have secretly put into my argv. Is that a string array? And what do I want to do? So GameJolt API, sadly, so let mutable, I know, GameJolt user name equal nothing, let mutable GameJolt user token equal nothing. Yeah. Boo. Mutable. But just for the time, until we come up with something a little bit better, and I need, because it's also This is not the way it's going to happen. So I let private mutable, let mutable private. Okay. So I'm also going to let private. These things are all private. So I want to do let set username equal GameJolt username stores username. Let set user token. Actually set. How about we just have a set user? Username, user token, and AG user token is the user token. And what I have, and I'm not going to show it, I've got my username and my user token in, sorry, let's build. It's going to be angry with me for the GameJolt API thing, but that's okay. 0 succeeded, 0 failed, whatever. Well, what? GameJolt API. Dot set user arg v dot 0. So argv0 and argv1 will set the user. I do have it set in my debug, but so that'll come in and store these things. For our next trick, go back over to GameJolt, and we got looks like this. It starts with that. Let auth URL equal that. And all we need, we need question mark auth URL format. So we'll be back and forth. So game ID, username, and user token. Game ID equal something, and username equal the same something, and user token equal another something. And make sure that's all right. So game ID, username, for whatever reason they decided nope. Okay. So then, game ID, username, user token. These are first %s, %s. So then, so what I want to do is I'll say let authenticate user. And so I've got all these things right here already. I'm going to authenticate the user, so that's going to be that equal printf printf auth URL format. And the first thing is the game ID. So that's a %i, %i. It's %i. And GameJolt username, GameJolt user token. Printf, and there's two strings in the given format. That's interesting. I'm just going to which I like. Let base URL equal that. That's just telling me that this let is unfinished. Okay. And then let and sadly .NET MD5 hash. So there's an MD5 class and system security cryptography. What do I have to do? So I have to bring in system security cryptography, and I say MD5, and I hash it. Really? Okay. Well, that's simple. So bring it in. Obviously, add a reference. My assemblies are system.security. System.security. I'm going to assume that's right there. Open. Was there something else here? .security.cryptography. This is not an area that overly thrills me. Base URL let let's call it hash me. Well, let's printf %s, and that's base URL and the private key. So that's the one that I want to hash. Let MD5 equal new MD5. Five dot hash dot hash How about I actually take a look at how these things are used? MD5. Compute hash. Okay, there's a specified byte array. But I just want, for instance, la la la. So, MD5. Okay, so there's that. Do create. There's get MD5 hash. Do. Okay, compute hash, encoding, UTF-8, get bytes. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Alright, so so I need to take my string, so I need to take that, and I need to do that to it. Alright. Yeah, most of the time, so MD5 equals MD5.create. Guess we don't need it yet. Encoding.system, or it's probably system.system.encoding. Probably have to add. Remember, in F# you get to add everything. Add a reference. System dot. Oh, maybe not. Where is encoding.utf8 get bytes? Do a search. I don't know where anything is. System.text. Of course, system.text. I actually knew that, I think, at one point. Encoding UTF-8 dot get bytes. And we can do a string, so hash me. Why is it type string and neck paddle with something or other? And make this simple. And to do it this way. Here's the base URL. It's going to be happy with it. We're going to get it in there hard coded, and we will fix it later. So then hash me is going to be whatever that is, and then we're going to say let bytes equal that. Bytes is going to be a byte array. All right. This looks like a job for fold. This is an array, so array sequence, seek.fold, function SB, S plus system.string.format. That, and then B, and system.string.empty. Take a string, it's going to add that, it's going to add colon x2. So there's the byte, so there's that, and let signature equal those bytes. Now signature should be a string, and then let final URL equal sprintf $s, and signature equal $s with a base URL and a signature. Final, there's a lot of steps to this. Get bytes. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. I need to. So in here, I need to calculate the hash. Let md5 equal md5 dot create. So md5 calculate compute hash. Okay, and it's gonna, that takes that. So the bytes are going to be compute the hash. Put that in there. So now we have that. Then the signature is from the bytes from the hash. Although really we can final URL. And then .NET web request. Web request. Make myself one of these. Sorry, two of these. Where's an HTTP request? .NET HTTP request. I think I want one of these. HTTP web request. Because I want obsolete. Interesting. Is there a create then? Oh, nice. It doesn't like this. This API export does not intend to be used directly from your code. Ah, well then. Web request it is then. HTTP request? Is this the one I want? Yes, this is, I think, the one I want. So, file name, URL, query string. File associated with the request. Goes to the HTTP page and user controls. I don't. See, what I happen to know about the GameJolt documentation is that there is one of these in C#. And it's uncalled plex. And the source code. So we can kind of steal things. So user client. So what I do, so there's the URL fetch, URL auth. And what does he do? So puts those all together. And then what does he do? So it's an HTTP web request. It is an HTTP web request. So it's just web request.create. Okay. So then really just, it's web request.create, whatever that is, and the request method. So, alright. We can do this. Yes, we can. Where was web request? I'm certainly going to need add a new reference. So it's system.net or system.web. Which one were you? Let's look. Well, there should be something here with a using, right? Link, system.net. Alright. Thanks, random code on the bathroom wall of the internet. System.net. Okay. System.net.web request. Create final URL. Let request equal that. And request dot going back. Method get request response. Oh, semicolons. It's going to get the response. Let response equal that. And response dot, I don't even know. What do we want from here? Well, what does it do over in the other code? So it does that, and it, there's a begin fetch, there's a begin authenticate user, begin auth result. Authenticate user, begin auth result. Begin auth result, we're going to get response end auth result. We're going to finish connection, web request. So, okay, I need to get the response stream. go. Read to end. Alright, so I'm going to get the response stream and I'm going to read it to the end. New stream reader, get response stream, read to end. Cool. Get response to stream. Is there a read to end? System.io.streamReader. Let reader equal. This is the stuff. It's just I don't even feel like I'm in F sharp anymore. I feel like I'm back in read to end. I'm just doing imperative code that happens to be with the F sharp syntax. Read to end. Let result is that. And we're just going to return a result. So what do you? It's like I think I use. I don't even. That's what I gotta do. Use. Yeah, it is recommended, blah, 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 rather than type args. F sharp, use. Use keyword. I've only used it like one time. So, use file one. Did you say use? Equals. Okay. So you use instead of let. That's alright. So, reader. Use reader equal that. We still okay or are we not? Okay. Use stream equals that. Seems okay with that. So stream. And type args. Okay, using the syntax. Oh, new. Nerp. Okay, I forgot a new. Silly me. Let result equal reader dot read to end. Then we want to see, is it going to work? So from here, so I set my user arg arg1 GameJolt API. That's what I need to build. GameJolt API dot authenticate user. Really? So type unit has type string. We'll just ignore it because we don't care. Put a breakpoint. Put a breakpoint. Build again. Make sure she works. And we'll see how well we did. So we're going to start. Okay, so the base URL has a value. Hash me has a value. If I create the bytes are that. And then the signature is all those bytes together. So that's cool. So add the final URL is that with the signature. Request is with the final URL. Method get. Response. Got something. What'd we get? Stream reader. Stream. Get the reader. Get the result. Success. True. Wow. All right. First time. Success. True. I am quite happy about that. That means that we did it and the code works, and it worked the first time. And that means I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. And now wow, huh. Apparently from time to time, I know what I'm doing. Some of these other times I flail around, but every once in a while, well, I did have good code to do it. But okay, so proof of concept complete. I will need something to help parse that out. But really, in the end, so authenticate user. When I authenticate the user, well, that's all I really care about, right? So let's keep it going. All right. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm working on the wrong code. But that's okay, because I'm going to move it on over. Because this is actually the code from the lost episode. But it's alright. Here's the file. It doesn't really matter where I integrate it in. So, I'm going to move the code over. I'm going to redo the game key. And that's going to be that for today. Thanks so much for coming along with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because I don't want to be talking to nobody. And we will see you next time.